Got it.
Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome. Hi, Tiffany.
Hello.
Yes, before we get started, we both want to share this out. So let's go ahead and let me make sure I share it to my page. So those is my personal page.
Yes.
Let me get it together. News feed. All right, posting it. And I gotta share it to a couple of people's pages.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready. Okay. Let me know when you're ready. It's
I'm
live
ready.
here. We got two viewers. Hello. Well, I just want to welcome everyone. Those of you that know or don't know me, I am Nikisha Washington. I am the CEO and founder of Nyla Dene Enterprises, which is named after my daughter, Nyla Dene. And with our company, what we like to do is to inspire and encourage young ladies to have confidence, character, and class as they become future leaders. And one of the leaders' directions we're going in is STEM. And so we all know that on Saturdays, we have our STEMsation Spotlight, where we have our blog post and our article about STEMsation. You might ask yourself, well, what is a STEMsation? And I'm going to tell you. It is a trailblazer in the fields of STEM, which I always like to tell people what STEM because we can't assume everybody knows what STEM is. So it's a trailblazer in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. And these women of color are doing tremendous things in their field and they are skyrocketing to their highest potential. And we just want to spotlight them. We want them to encourage us, encourage themselves, and we want to inspire others, and especially young girls, that so they can see. We believe the representation matters. So we want them to see that this can be you. We got all our same struggles. And I know you have a great story because I listened to you earlier about just the student loan debt, because that was me. I was
Yes.
like, oh Lord.
Yes.
We'll get to that. But these young ladies, these women of color have like blazing the field of STEM. And so we highlight them on Saturday and Sunday and throughout the week. And so we just want to welcome our STEMsation for this week. It's Miss Tiffany E. Gibson. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Fine. I love that she's on location. So she's going to
Yes.
tell us all about her, what she does, and she's going to tell us we're actually on location. So she's going to give
We
that whole
are.
wonderful spiel. So go ahead, Tiffany.
Hi. Yes. So we are on location. Just want to give a disclaimer. If you hear any announcements overhead, it's because I am at the hospital. So they do some live announcements. But hi, everyone. My name is Tiffany Gibson. I am a clinical nurse educator, certified pediatric nurse, and just recently became board certified nurse specialist in professional development.
Ooh, that's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, girl, look at that sensation. Like I said, blazing the trails. Like, yes, we love it. So welcome. And we do have some visitors and some viewers. And guys, if you have questions throughout the broadcast, please post them at the bottom. You will like to interact as we go through the questions. If you have not read Tiffany's wonderful article on nyladene.com, make sure you go there and read it after the broadcast because she gives even more gems in her article. And then we would love for you to comment on it and share it with others. So hello. Hello, Denise. Hello, Fanny. And those of you that are out watching, we're going to get started. Tiffany kind of talk to us about some of the things she's done. She's board certified and all of this. And so we're going to give her a chance to answer who is Tiffany. So she's going to kind of give us her background and then how she got to be board certified.
Okay, so I'm my mid 30s, and I think that's important to say because a lot of clinical nurse educators are a lot older than I am. So I'm considered new in the field, young in the field. I do have a degree in public health, and then I have a bachelor's degree in nursing and my master's in nursing education. And so I worked at a children's hospital for about 10 years at the bedside. I did 7 years of night shifts and, put in my dues with taking care of patients. Yeah, I worked on an adolescent floor at a really big children's hospital out here in Philadelphia. And this adolescent floor also had behavioral health and nephrology patients. So my patients could range from a 2-month-old who was born with one kidney all the way to a 21-year-old who had behavioral health problems. So my specialty are kidneys, kidney transplant, kidney dialysis, taking care of the adolescent patients, as well as mental health and behavioral health in adolescents. So that's kind of where my clinical background comes from. And then about 2 years ago, I wanted to just do education full time. I noticed when I was at the Children's Hospital that I was always the one that was taking on the new hires. So like the new nurses, the student nurses. I was part of the education council. I became a CPR instructor, and I was doing all these educational things and said, you know what? I think it's time for me to do this full time. Also, at the same time, I just given birth to my daughter, and working those night shift for 12 hours was not the thing anymore. So how do I stay a nurse, work in a hospital, and educate, but then still be home by 5 o'clock for dinner?
Yes, I definitely want to know that. But we're going to get to that, so don't tell us that yet.
Okay. So, but I became a nurse educator, and so I switched locations. I'm now at another hospital that's adult focused in one of the suburbs of Philadelphia. And so this is what I do every day. I'm a clinical nurse educator. So part of my role is when we get new hires, new nursing assistants, new RNs, my job is to orient them to the hospital. I am a part of 9 committees here. I am
9
meetings every day. One of the things that I'm really proud of is that the hospital that I'm in right now is really putting a lot of focus into diversity and inclusion. And so I am part of that task force, and they actually sponsored me to go to school right now. Class starts tomorrow.
Wait, when you say sponsor, do you mean they're paying? Like there's
tuition paid for in full.
See, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, coin.
No more student loans.
Yeah.
But
tuition
paid for in full for me to get a certificate in healthcare leadership and diversity and inclusion, because this hospital that I work for now, they really want to be cognizant and aware of different diversity and inclusion issues. And so I am only one of 6 Black people at my hospital that are in leadership positions. Which is
wow. And you're so young. You're so young.
So we're really trying to, make a difference that way. So that's kind of what I do now. I also am a clinical instructor for 2 nursing schools. So I take their nursing students on their clinical. And so I do that. And then I'm here.
And you can leave by 5? Oh, I can't wait to hear that story, because you're doing a lot, and I'm very proud.
I'm going to tell you what time I wake up in order for me to leave here by 5.
I'll get to that. But just be, for me being from the background of education, and just to hear your side of it, it's like, wow. Because as I was doing education, I was in leadership, and I also was like a new teacher mentor. So it reminds me of what you're saying, like, because, any field, if you don't have a good mentor, a lot of first year, second year nurses, teachers, they get burned out. And so they start, you want somebody to help them through the process and give them that support so they can remain in the occupation. And so you have to give that support. So a good mentor is very important. So I think what you're doing is awesome. And so I'm so proud of you, because you're talking about you getting certified. You're certified. So that's what we want everyone to hear, like, you can do it. That just awesome. So I love it.
Thank you.
Kind of want to get to your background. So the next question, and you talked about it in the article, why did you choose your career?
So I always know. So first, the human body has always been fascinating to me.
Okay.
So it was something about the human body that's always been fascinating to me. And I remember one day I told my mom I wanted to be a mortician, because I thought it was cool that they got to embalm people and they got to see the body and the anatomy. And my mom was like, girl, ain't nobody trying to bury a mortician.
But that's not true, because I'm going to tell you, I have a cousin, Pat Owen, which is now Pat Lee, Patricia Lee. She is a mortician, and she's married to a pastor. And I used to be like, oh, no. But hey, so it's not true, but we think of that because it's like, no, but like she loves her job and she's excellent.
Yeah, you're right. So I always loved the human body since I was young. But then I think what really inspired me the most was my mom was pregnant with my brother, who is the youngest of 3. I'm the oldest, and she was actually overdue. So the day my dad was home, that whole week she was supposed to go into labor. She never went to labor. She was overdue. He was like, well, I'm going to just go in the office. And the day he went into the office was the day her water broke. And so,
of course, that's what happens.
Right. And I was 10 years old at the time. It's August, so it's the summertime. I'm home. My sister, I think, was at my aunt's house. And so we called a cab. And she's like, well, I just got started contractions. We have some time. No, we didn't. By the time we got out the cab, my brother was crowning. And the nurse that greeted us was the nurse that basically delivered my brother. And I was there during the whole thing because it happened so fast that they really couldn't call anybody to come get me. So I saw it all. And I was just fascinated by it all. And it was really
freaked out.
No, I was all in there. And I was just fascinated by it all. And it was the nurse who I remember. She was the one that was, checking on my mom. She cleans my brother. She showed my mom how to breastfeed. She made sure I was okay. She gave me snacks. She was just always in and out the room and always around and always caring. And I wanted to be her. Like, I wanted to be the person that helped other people during their most vulnerable times. So that's kind of what really sparked it. And I just always had this thing that I wanted to be a labor and delivery nurse. So I never actually went into labor and delivery. Okay. I went into pediatrics instead, but it's the same thing. But yeah, that's kind of what sparked my interest.
I definitely would say yes. And then for you not to be freaked out at that moment, because I know me, I would have passed out. My mom would have just been like, just leave her alone, because I can't even watch like ER type shows, Grey's Anatomy. Like, I love them, but when they start doing the procedures and different things, I have to turn it back. And that's on TV. So just to see it right there, you definitely was destined. I was just right there from 10 on. Yeah, you were definitely destined. So while I know everybody comes in contact with you, are so happy to have you. And like you say, it's that mentorship that you saw that nurse, and she was just a great nurse, because she could have been awful. And that might have turned you away. But because she was so great, that made you. And then you start, because that's how I became a science teacher. I started in engineering, but then I changed it to science.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I had this mentor, Miss Smith from 7th grade, Dunbar Pulaski, and I just loved how she dressed. She was sharp, always sharp, hair done, beautiful woman. And so that's what I idolized. And she was sweet, but she didn't take no stuff.
Right.
That's how we would get paddled, and people would not want to paddle from Miss Smith versus like some of the man teachers, because she had a way about it. And so it was just amazing that I just saw that. And like you said, that's kind of what led me down my road. When you have that good role model, that good mentor. And so just
even so important.
So that's very important. So thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Now in any career, there's some drawbacks and some things that, everything is not all peaches and roses, and, everything is not so like that. So what would you change about your career? Like, what are some of the things, if you had the power, or some things you would like to see change, what would they be?
So because I work in a hospital, which is a big corporation / business, there's a lot of hiring, a lot of red tape. And so if I wanted to just start a program or put out a video, do whatever, there's a lot of bureaucracy that I need to get through just to make things happen, which can be a little intimidating and deflating at times. So I wish I could change that. I also wish, just as an educator, working with people, it's hard for me to get to where they are or to get them away from their job, right? Working in a hospital. So the whole point of the hospital is to take care of the patients. And so you need the nurses and the nurses' assistants to be there to take care of the patient. So then when do I educate? Right. So I wish I could just change that, where I had the ability to just do just-in-time training, or to get my audience off the units, or just designated education space for me to just say, hey guys, here's a new equipment, here's a new topic, here's a new concept. Let me teach you. Because right now, what I do is I follow people and say, you got 5 minutes? Let me teach you this real quick. So I just kind of wish I could change that a little bit.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, because I just know when I first started teaching, like we had like all this time, they put in our prep periods, and we had all this time, but then certain things, more stuff got more demanding with test scores and different things. So we stopped having that time to actually, like, for me to meet with my mentor teacher. And it's like you just had to take that 5 minutes and go by and stop by and just kind of grab them and say, hey, how are you doing? Just a quick check-in and stuff. So I know time can be of essence and stuff. Hold on 1 second. My family is not being very cooperative. Nate, Nate and Nyla, you guys are loud. Yeah, can you close the door, please? And they're reading a book, and I mean, they're all animated into it.
So
Like,
mommy did in business, right?
yes, I'm like, okay, I love that you guys you're loud and you're taking away. So sorry about that, but
I understand. I have a 4-year-old. Trust me, I get it.
Yes, we definitely gotta get to her because she's a little STEMsation and she would love Nyla Nola. So, those of you that are just joining in, welcome to our STEMsation Spotlight. Just want to kind of go in that we are highlighting Tiffany Gibson. She is a clinical nurse educator, and so she's going about her time and what she does, which is a lot. But her main job is to educate nurses, new people that's coming into, and she's actually on site right now. I'm so excited. She's at the hospital, so it's like, wow,
it's in my office.
Yes, and so one of the things she talked about, I know we've had a lot of people that's been in the health industry that we've been talking, and that's always something that will change. It's the bureaucracy with the financial and just the time. And so that's a common thing because especially the ones that treat patients directly, and they're saying that like if there's a treatment that they want to, have them go through, but if their insurance doesn't allow it, then you got to find alternate routes. And, and that can be heartbreaking because this is what can help that person, but sometimes the hands are tied. So I know that is something that, we got to try to, get more educated about how can we help. We know about voting and being on legislative.
It's real political. All that is political because it comes down to insurance and what insurance will pay for. But then that also, it has to do with what the government will allow the insurance companies to do. It's all political. But the person who needs the treatment, they have no clue what that is. And so they just want the medication, or they just want a referral, or they just want this test, but their insurance won't pay for it. Or their copay is astronomical.
Oh my God. Like it's like they got to decide do I want to eat and have a house, or do I want to get this medicine that can save my life? And no one should ever have to make that choice.
And you'll be surprised about how many people go through that all the time. When I was taking care of patients, I used to try to get free samples of stuff and just say, here. Because I know this medication costs a lot of money, but it's something that you need to be on. And so I always try to be cognizant about that, or go back to the doctor and say, can you get the generic instead of the name brand?
Yeah, like we have to.
Is this something they can get over the counter? Do you really need to write a prescription for Tylenol when they can just go to CVS and buy it? So I try to advocate for my patients as much as possible, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. So this kind of goes back to one of the questions we asked about why did you choose, but what do you like most about your career? Like, what is the one thing that you like? I just love it.
So I say this all the time. My ambition keeps me up at night because I'm always thinking about the next best way or the next best concept to teach. I love being a resource for people.
Okay.
So either taking care of the patients and being a resource for them, or in my new role now, just being a resource to new nurses and nursing assistants. So I like helping people understand the importance of healthcare and nursing and what it is to be that person at the bedside. To me, that's really important.
Yes.
And that's really why I got into education, is to help people be a better nurse. How can I be the nurse's nurse? How can I help you take care of the patient, but then not forget that this is a person. So it's not just another task that you're doing. This is a person who's sick and they have no clue what's going on. And you're saying all these big words and they're going off of all these tests and they have no clue what's going on. So how do you break it down to them, give them the best care that's possible, and then understand that this is a profession. So, you have to be really good at what you do because people's lives are on the line.
Yes. And I just think about what you say, like, I feel like nurses, doctors, teachers, those type of jobs is like, you can't have, like, you might be having a bad day, but you have to leave it at the door because you're always on. So when you get there, nobody cares about what's going on at home. They don't care about your problem.
That you had a flat tire on your way in.
They don't care. I'm here. I just be like, oh God, not today. For the clears, please, not this, and I'm like, oh, but like you don't have that option. So these are the type of careers that you got to realize that you got to be able to handle stress well, and you got to be able to hide it for the moment because you have to put somebody else's issues or
Needs
problems that
in
they're
front of
going through,
yours.
their needs. That's the word. Their needs
Yep.
in front of yours. So, you could be having the worst day, a headache, or this and that, but you still got to be on because they're just like with kids. Your
Yes.
4-year-old, mommy's sick. What does that mean? Mommy needs to play with me. Mommy needs this. I need this. You always have to be on. And so that's definitely something that
Always.
like
I say that all the time. I used to be a charge nurse at my other job where I was basically the head nurse on the floor. And I would say to the nurses and the nurses assistants all the time, you can clock out and go home. I'd rather you go home than stay here with this attitude because
oh wow, you was really look at you.
yeah, I would say that because I would rather take your patient assignment and you go home than have you stay here for the next 12 hours being sour. Because that translates over to the patient, and it also translates in the type of care that you're giving the patient.
Exactly.
And the patient can feel it. And we've all had that one nurse or that one receptionist or that one doctor.
One of those incidents. So I was like, "Whoa!" I needed you to tell them to go home because I was like, she's not coming back into my room. Like
exactly. We've all had that one person who didn't give us eye contact, or was very short and curt with us, or their hands were cold, or just something that turned you off. And it's just like, I'd rather run short staff on the unit than have you here with your funky attitude. So you can clock out and go home.
Yeah. Like go because you just, and like you said, that affects the patient's healing.
Yes, it does.
I was laying there and I was like, oh my God, like I just like wanted to give up. Like what, and it was not even just miscommunication. I asked you something.
Yeah.
Don't give me an answer that you thought. Well, I thought because it's like the physical therapist was supposed to come in, and it's like 8:00 at night. I'm like, you sure they're coming? Oh yeah, they're still coming. Then the next nurse came in and was like, no, they leave at 5. Like that person knew that. Why would you tell me that? So now I'm upset. And then I feel like, oh God, I'm not going to be right because I missed the physical therapist and just, tell me, no, it's okay. They left. They'll see you in the morning. It's not going to affect your healing, but let me know that. Like, it was just terrible. So
that's one of the things that I enjoy about my job, which is being a resource for them, being a resource for the people at the bedside, so that they can be the best they can be to make sure that the patients have the best outcomes that they need to go home.
Sounds good. Now, one of the things reason why I like to highlight women of color that are STEMsations, the trailblazers in their field, is to help those that are coming after them. Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of experience, and I just want you to take this time now for any young lady or even people that are career changers. What tips or advice would you give them about, like, through your journey, what you learned, and what will hold for you to tell them to, like, hey, this is what, try this, or I did this, or, just give some good advice that can help those that are coming behind you.
Yeah, so this can get very long-winded, so stop me.
Go ahead. You got time. We're here for it.
First and foremost, I would say do your research. Do your research as far as what nursing program you want to go into. Mm-hmm. Do you want to stay local? Do you want to travel? There are a lot of second-degree nurses, or second career nurses, I should say, where people who were in a whole nother field and then decided they wanted to come in healthcare and become a nurse because of something that personally happened to them. Wow. And so I would say, one, keep costs down, stay local. There's a lot of community colleges that have great nursing programs. Maybe you don't get your bachelor's degree right away. Maybe you get a diploma, you work at a hospital, have the hospital pay for you to get your bachelor's. Take it for someone who has 6 figures of student loan debt, right?
Hey, me too. Hey,
6 figures of student loan debt with 3 degrees. If I had went to the community college, I could have probably paid for that out of pocket. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2.
Before you go to tip number 2, let's just talk about that for a second. And that's so important. By me being in the high school, I would tell my students now, because I didn't know that when I was going to high school, and I would say a good high school counselor is really good because it makes you seem like back then, probably even now, they make it seem community college, it's great. Exactly. It's not going to do it. It's a stigma against it. I would tell them, hey, they're having, especially at least the first 2 years, they're having the same courses for the least amount. Take those there and then transfer. Now I'm going to the big college. And you're going to rack up a lot of bills. Take it for somebody who knows that was going with that whole prestige and I got to do this. And then not being educated about loans. So y'all going to give me this money? Okay, I'm going to take it because I need to do this. Oh, now you want your money back? Oh, plus more money?
That was all I got to do was sign? Yeah. You just need me to sign.
Sign. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, y'all
And then
want
the
your money back.
waitress, Sally Mae, was like, "Here's your bill." I'm like, "Wait, what?
Wait,
What
like,
just happened?"
like this
I
wasn't
know.
free. And so that's one thing that we definitely need to talk about. And that's why I want to start just
Yeah.
educating young girls, but guys, just the young community about it's not free money and
No.
go where it's least expensive. Don't worry about the name of the school. The school, do your research about the type of school you're going to. But community colleges are there just for this point. You can go get your
Yeah.
start, take all your basic classes that you have to take for any degree, take them there, get that credit, and then transfer, and then you can get into the program and you save tens of thousands of dollars. But if you go straight into the big universities and the different things and you don't have scholarships, you're gonna have to take that money out. And that's killing us because now you have to try to pay it back and you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car. So that's
Been there, done that. Trust me. So that's definitely tip number one is to research.
Okay, tip number
tip number two. Hi, little Nyla Danae.
I know. Can we get the little tiger face out of here?
No.
Yeah. Okay, bye bye.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
she's cute. So tip number two is just to stay organized. I got my master's while my daughter was 10 months old. I enrolled into my master's course. And so for me, I was still working. I was working night shift at the time. I was breastfeeding. My daughter was 10 months. And then I started this online master's program. And the only way I survived was to stay to a schedule and be organized. And so between this time and this time, I did this. And between this time and this time, I did this. And so blocking my time and staying organized helped me get my assignments done on time. It helped me to remember to get to places and appointments that I needed to be. I even had to block in naps and sleep time and all that other stuff just so I could stay on schedule. And that helped me a lot. And so I took my master's online. It was fully online, which was the best thing I could have ever done.
I did the same thing. Yes.
Yeah, best thing I could have ever done. And so staying organized is definitely the second tip.
Yes, definitely organization, especially like you said, we're going to get to that about you juggling motherhood and career or going to school.
Yeah.
Organization, because without that, it's a train wreck. And then you're going to get too overwhelmed, too frustrated, and you don't want to take that out on your child. So you definitely want to make sure that, like you said, you have to schedule in a nap time, stop what you're doing.
Yes.
And do that. So that's an excellent tip number two. Great job. Okay, let's go.
So then number three, I would say advocate for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to come to a lot of people who may say things that they don't even realize is deterring you from getting to your dreams. But if you know what you want, just go after what you want.
Yes.
If you know what's in your soul, go after it. And it may take you the long way to get there, right? Because a lot of journeys are not straight roads. A lot of journeys have pit stops and obstacles and detours, and you're reversing, and now you're taking this whole route. And so just advocate for yourself. Go for your passion, go for your dreams, and see who's in your circle too. Lately, I keep hearing about, the 5 people in your circle, your top 5, and everybody in your circle should be someone that's either on the journey with you, can help you along the way, or it's just giving you motivation and encouragement. And so if that means canceling people out, friends, families, coworkers, whomever, you have to advocate for yourself and follow your dreams. So those would be my top 3 tips.
Right. And going back on that, I just think now it's funny, going down my timeline, I've seen so many people with 2019, we always say new year, new me, but a lot of them is just saying it's the same me, but it's the people that are around me that I'm getting rid of. And it's that negative energy. And it's
protect your energy.
Protect your energy. And it's like if I tell you I'm doing something and you might in your soul, well, she's not going to be able to do it. But don't tell me that, don't try to deter me from trying to pursue my dreams because you're too afraid to pursue yours. I believe faith over fear. And like you say, journey, I've noticed even with teaching, because now I'm going back into the classroom again on Monday. And I thought I wouldn't be going back into the classroom, but you never know where your journey will take you. Right. If I'm doing that and building Nyla Danae Enterprises, I look at the stuff that I'm doing and I'm like, it's for a reason. It's helping me to get to my goal. And so sometimes you need that little detours and stops to learn something, to pick up something, to get that lesson, and then use that lesson to help to where you need to go. So sometimes those are, you don't even realize those speed bumps are there to slow you down. Hey, you're gonna, because then you won't appreciate it, and then you won't have the knowledge and the experience and the skills. So yeah, so great job. So before one of the things before I get into your future goals, what has been the stigma? How have you come back to the stigma of being a woman of color in STEM?
Okay. So I alluded to this earlier. I'm young, right? So I'm only 35. So I'm young by age, but I'm also young by experience in my profession. Usually clinical educators, professors, professional development nurses, these are well-established veteran women, right? I won't call them older, but they're older than me. So I'm young, I'm Black, and I'm new to the field. So I have a lot of barriers set up against me. So one way that I overcome my stigma is knowing my stuff, right? I'm going to be an expert on this so that I know what I'm talking about when I talk. And so that's why getting that extra certification was important to me, because it just validates that I know what I'm doing.
Ooh,
right? I'm board certified for a reason, because I know what I'm doing. I know
check my credentials, boo. Check my credentials.
Check this alphabet soup behind my name, right?
Yes.
So and I got that when I was at the bedside before I had the alphabet soup behind my name, and I would walk into the room and people would say, "I'm here. You know, where's the nurse coming in?" That's me.
Oh,
or, I speak to the charge nurse. That's me too. Or who's the supervisor? She's here. So it's like I got that a lot. And now with the climate, the racial climate in 2019, a lot of people are a little bit more bold in some of the statements that they're making. And so I make sure that, one, I know what I'm talking about. Two, I pride myself on representation matters, because I know there's a lot of people looking at me.
Yes.
So they're either looking at me to fail or they're looking at me for encouragement. And so I am mindful about what I wear to work.
Yes.
I am mindful about things that I attach my name to, and I am mindful about just the product that I give out, because people are either waiting for my downfall or they're looking at me as encouragement and inspiration. And so I still have to be on my P's and Q's. And so that's how I kind of overcome the stigma, is that, you know, when I'm walking into the Board of Trustees meeting and, you know, they think they're talking circles around me, and then I come in with the fact. They're like, oh. Oh, okay. So just maintain professionalism at all times, and just, you know, no one can take your education from you. So I want to be an expert in my field so I can know what I'm talking about and advocate for myself.
And I believe it. You are an expert. You have it going on, and I love it.
Thank you.
I love what you said about validation. And it's a shame that we have to go that extra mile and, like you said, all those extra certifications and stuff before someone else tries, you know, to validate us. But it starts with us validating ourselves. When we walk into those rooms, I always talk about my light gonna shine before I even say anything, because I'm walking in with confidence. I'm walking with my head up, because I know I'm supposed to be at this table. And if you want to make room, I'll bring my chair and I'm gonna sit down and I'll be like, exactly. I'm here with, like you said, all my certifications behind me and stuff. Exactly. So I definitely agree with that. I want to talk about your future goals, but I want to add that into your big announcement for later. So we're going to go into your family. So let's do the family first, and then we'll leave future goals afterwards.
Okay.
All right. So what's your future goals? And we're going to talk about, how do you juggle? Well, let's do family influence. Talk about your family influence, and then we'll talk about how you juggle with family and
So family influence. So my mom is in healthcare. She's a school nurse. And I have some aunts on my father's side who are in the medical world as well. My family has really been big on education. I went to boarding school for high school. And so
yes, please tell that story, because I was like,
I did.
Wow. So tell us.
So I'm from the Bronx, New York. And one of my uncles on my dad's side went to a boarding school in the 70s, 80s. And so when it was time for me to go to high school, my dad was like, you are not going to high school in New York. You are not. You are not going to high school in the Bronx. So we applied for this program called A Better Chance, which takes my inner city minority students and they place them in boarding schools, prep schools. And so I went to Brooks School for 4 years, which is in North Andover, Massachusetts, which changed my life forever.
I'm just saying, that was a big difference from the Bronx to Massachusetts.
Yeah, it was a huge culture shock. And there was, I think, 9 of us minorities that were in the same cohort, and one of them is following right now. Shout out to Ceci, she's on right now. So we are still very, 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 very tight to this day. We're still very tight. But it was a culture shock, but it was the best thing my father could have ever done for me, because it instilled the value of education, and it also exposed me to the others, right? And so it exposed me to the others. And so my school was a very small school, but it was a prestigious school. And so a lot of the kids who went there were paying for tuition out of pocket, were driving up to school in their Benzes. Their fathers were governors and business owners and senators and whatever. And I learned table setting and how to eat with what fork and what to wear, and right. And I lived on campus, and this was for 4 years. I actually did study abroad and lived with the host family in South Africa for 2 months because of high school. And so that high school just changed my life forever. And that was because of my family. My dad saw it that, you're not staying in the Bronx, you're getting out of here. And so anything really academically or anything that I wanted to do, my family was behind it. I went to Temple University for my first degree and kind of just planted my roots in Philly and never made it back to New York. So I've been in Philly since 2001. I went to Temple, I went to Drexel, got my 2 bachelor's degree there. And then in 2014, just to kind of fast forward, I had Kennedy. So Kennedy is my 4-year-old. My spicy, sassy 4-year-old. Oh, yeah. Aren't they all? And so I had her, and her dad and I, we separated. We're no longer together. And that really was a huge motivation in saying, all right, you're working night shift at the hospital. You have this baby. You're in Philadelphia. Your entire family is in New York. What can you do to maintain for you and your child? And so I enrolled in the master's program because I knew with the more education that I had, the more money I could make. And now that I have a mouth to feed, we need to keep these bills paid, right? And so I enrolled in my master's program. I switched jobs. I got my master's, and that's all she wrote.
Yes. So because you kind of went from family influence to juggling. So we're kind of going to lead into how do you juggle your career and motherhood? I know you talked about organization, but
so I wake up at 4:30.
Okay.
I'm up early, and I get a lot of things done in the morning.
Okay.
So while baby girl is still sleeping, I'm either doing laundry, cooking dinner, or catching up on emails or my new Nurse Academy stuff in the morning.
Okay.
We leave the house around 6:30, and then I work, and then I'm, usually at the office by 4:30, 4:45-ish. I can say that I'm blessed with having a flexible job where I can take my laptop and work from home if I needed to. I can come in on the weekends like today. So I do have the flexibility to get work done beyond the traditional hours. And then I have a great village. Like I said, I'm not in New York, but my mom comes as often as she can.
I bet she does.
Right now, she will get on that turnpike, grandma to the rescue. Yeah. And so she would either take Kennedy, and Kennedy would stay in New York for days at a time, or she'll come to Philly and stay in Philly days at a time. And then I just have a really good network of friends. Like right now, Kennedy is with one of my really good girlfriends and her kids, and that's how I get things done. They don't charge me, and they're like, she can stay.
That's wonderful. Wow.
And that's how I get things done. I also have a really amazing man in my life who's become a really good father figure for Ken. And so if there are gaps of childcare, he'll come right on in. And,
well, that's wonderful, Tiffany.
I have a good tribe. I have a really
that's good, and that's what it is. It takes a village, and people don't realize that it takes a village. So that is awesome. I was trying to look to see if we had any questions. No one has put any questions.
Let me look. I know I saw something earlier. So Ceci, my girlfriend from high school, she says, "What has your roadblock been as a Black woman in the industry? Any stories?" I can honestly say I haven't had any formal roadblocks other than just my finances. My student loans has hindered me from buying a house when I wanted to buy a house, and I had to get that together first before I was even eligible to get a mortgage. That really is my only roadblock. The six figures, Jesus.
I know. Don't remind me.
But we're gonna get it paid down, Lord.
We getting this. Yes, this has to go.
but I haven't had any really roadblocks. I'm an aggressive person. I'm an assertive person, and really anything I want, I go out and I set my mind with and I get it. I'm very goal oriented and self motivated. So I haven't had any roadblocks in particular. That's really been it. With Kennedy's dad and I not being together, I thought that was going to be a potential roadblock for me.
And it could be, but
with being a single mom at the moment, 4 years later, I think I'm doing good.
I think you're doing excellent. Yeah.
But I thought that was going to bring me down emotionally, mentally. But it actually put some fire under my butt.
Yes. Yeah. Because like you said, you don't have time to have a pity party. You got to, knock it. And she's looking up to you. And so you want to show her a strong, independent. Yeah. You want to show her like those attributes that you want her to instill in her and later in life. So you don't want to be sitting around crying in the corner. I don't know.
Right. I don't have time. No. These bills got to get paid. And at the moment, I was working night shifts. So I was only working 3 night shifts a week. So it was 12-hour shift for 36 hours, which has its pros and its cons because I only work for 3 days and then I have 4 days off.
Right.
So it really wasn't too bad. But those 12 hours really turns into 14 and a half if you think about it.
That's a lot of time. Oof. I don't know how you guys do it. I applaud you.
Years. Yeah, so it was just a lot going on at once. But again, I had a really good tribe. I didn't have a lot of sleep. And I just knew that I had to get things done. But then eventually I said, you know what, I got to change gears. I need a more traditional, formal job so that I can really be there for her and be the best me for her. Yeah. Because I wasn't sleeping, because I would work all night, 7 p to 7:30 a.m. I really wasn't getting home until 8:30.
Wow.
And then I would stay up with her, and then I would sleep for maybe 3-4 hours, and then get up and have to do it all over again. Yeah, so after a while, I was just like, I'm getting burnt out, and I can't be the best mom for her if I'm not functioning at my best. So we had to switch gears.
Okay, all right. Did you have any more questions on somebody? That is the devil. Yes, it is.
I'm trying to think. No, I don't see anything else as far as questions go.
Okay. Anybody want to shout out before we talk about the future goals and your big announcement?
So I do see that I have 2 of my aunts on right now. So I do want to definitely do a shout out to Auntie Paulette in Jamaica. She's watching all the way from Jamaica.
Jamaica, hey! Yes.
Auntie Dimple, she's in Maryland right now. I want to shout them out. And then for Ceci, like I said, Ceci is one of my really good girlfriends. We went to boarding school together. She was from New York. I'm from New York. And we end up in this rural place. And it's a huge culture shock. And even now, all these years later, we are still really, really close. And so I just want to shout out to her. She's making some comments here. And all my nursing friends, just hi. Thanks for watching.
And you guys, we are always looking for STEMsation. So if you want to get in touch with us, we would love to highlight you guys because we are so proud of you. And everybody's journey is different. But each journey can help the next person. So please, holler at us, info@naladenae.com or check us out. Before our last question, and then because I know this will lead you into what's going on with you, is future goals. What are your future goals?
Future goals. All right. So that breaks down into like multiple categories because my mind is always working. So my first big thing is to get another certification
as
a nurse educator before I go and get my doctorate degree.
Doctorate.
Yes, I want to get my doctorate degree in a couple of years, but before I do that, I want to get another nursing certification. My other goals will be to just continue to evolve as a nurse educator. I've only been in this field for 2 years, so I still consider myself to be a novice. And so I really want to, plant some roots and really become a little bit more competent and confident in what I'm doing. So that's that. As far as New Nurse Academy goes, I definitely want to grow my business. I really take importance into being a mentor and a coach for other nurses or new nurses in the field. So I definitely want to grow my business and do more speaking engagements, provide some nursing NCLEX prep and job prep. That's that. Need to pay down these loans. That's another goal.
Yes. Well, I think what you're doing with the New Nurse Academy is great. And I just want to say I love the name too.
Oh, thank you.
Because they tell you exactly someone's like, is that for me? New Nurse Academy. Are you new? Yeah, okay, then it's for you. So I love it.
Yeah, New Nurse Academy. And then in the next couple of years, hopefully we'll have a CNA school. That's my other goal, is to open up a CNA school.
Oh, wow. Love it.
Nurse assistant training and have my own education center. So I'm working on
awesome. Like, I definitely have to keep in touch with you because you're doing amazing things. And that's one of the things that I want to do with this is create a community of STEMsation. And like you said, we can help each other and we can support each other. And because we all have different journeys and ideas, but we all want to be successful. We all want to give back, and we want to help the next generation and beyond. So I love it. I love it.
And then my event, my big announcement.
Yes, let's talk about that. I watched this morning. I was excited for, well, not this morning, but at 3:00, I was so excited for you. It's awesome.
Yep, so I'm excited about that. It's like I've met a lot of people along the way who have helped me build New Nurse Academy and helped me get my finances in order. And so why not share my resources with other people and have them find what they need to start their purpose, to start their journey. So I'm excited about that.
All right.
And I'll make sure to post a flyer in the comments.
And we'll make sure that we repost it and sign up. And then I know for the event, what area are you targeting?
So we are hosting the event in Philadelphia. So places that are close are Delaware, of course, Philadelphia, and Jersey. New York is only 2 hours or less, depending on how you drive away. So and same thing with DC and Maryland. They're actually not that far. It's a day's trip. Hop on an Amtrak, hop on a Greyhound. So it's in Philadelphia. But the goal, and I was just talking to my partner, is maybe we can do a college tour and bring this same type of format to different colleges in the area to get those students, especially those senior students, together. Like, you are about to graduate. What do you need to be successful?
Exactly.
There's a lot of things that I wish I knew before I made certain decisions after graduation. And so it's like, why not share that with these people?
Yes. I think that is awesome. And that actually is we always ask, how do you plan on giving back? And you've answered that. But I'm like, if there's anything else, like, this is your time now to let us know anything that we have not covered or something you want to hit on more. But definitely, like you said, a college tour would be awesome. And I always believe in exposure. People talk about go to college, but if we don't expose them to let them see a college, walk on a college campus, even audit a college course, like, let them, like a class, let them see what because then it becomes a reality. When we keep saying go to college, it's just like out there. And they're like, okay, sure. But when we let them see it, and then we connect them with those resources at particular colleges, then it becomes real for them. So I think that is important. So,
Yep. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just wanting to be a resource to everybody. To me, and I say this all the time, knowledge is power, but sharing that knowledge is powerful. So, you want to take what you have. Take what you have. Yeah. Each one teach one, right?
Yeah.
Each one teach one. And so I'm trying to think any other tips. So what's important for me that I've noticed just in my role as an educator is the importance of professionalism. I think a lot of people, they start off as nursing assistants and they come into the hospital and this is their very first job and they don't know how to be a professional. They've never had to be held accountable. Or they've worked other jobs where being a professional wasn't necessary. So either fast food or, whatever. And then you come into a big hospital like this and you have to just be mindful about how you present yourself, how you talk, how you speak, how you respond, how you communicate, your appearance, just being professional because your name travels before you do.
And that's not just in the hospital. Be a professional in whatever job that you have. And because you're building your reputation, you're building that name. And you don't want people like, oh, she's always late, or she's popping gum, or she's doing this. Whatever job you have. That's what I say. These are tips that anyone needs, and especially young ladies that are out there, that they're watching all these reality shows, and they think, oh, that's how you're supposed to act. No, boo-boo. No. You need to go in and be professional. So that is awesome.
Yeah. Professionalism, eye contact, and strong handshakes. It'll get you far.
They will. We definitely need that. Well, we just want to thank you, Tiffany. I love what you're doing in New Nurse Academy and everything that you got going on with your event. We're definitely going to stay in touch. We're going to keep connecting with you. We're working on somehow to keep all our sensations together and kind of having like this community where we can talk through stuff and share resources. If you know this person knows how to do this, and then connect them with young ladies too, so we can do some type of mentoring and stuff like that. So I just want to thank you. I know we'll keep in touch, and we want to check back on and see how well that you're doing in your new position.
Thank you so much.
How the new nurse academy is going.
I'm definitely getting a Nala Nova book for my 4-year-old, and so for all of my friends who are following me right now, go on the Nala Dene website. They have Nala Nova, Little Scientists, Black Scientists, and they have the little workbooks. I definitely need to buy one for Kennedy. So thank you so much.
Yes, and I just want to say I'm wearing the new spring edition of the Nala Dene Enterprise T-shirts. We've been wearing black, but we have the white now, so we have them in white too with the bling bling. So all that is on naladene.com. But we thank you guys. We know that there's games on and everything. You could have been viewing from anywhere, but we want to thank you, and we definitely will have this rebroadcast. And we just wish you the best, Tiffany, and everything that you do.
Thank you. Yeah. And for everybody, you can find me on New Nurse Academy on Instagram, New Nurse Academy LLC on Facebook, and my website, www.newnurse-academy.com.
You better say that, and we'll make sure we post that as well. Thank you, Tiffany. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great, awesome week.
Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you.